From my headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria, if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise of Friday right here on Enterprise Television. Now to our main conversation for today. Bosun Tijani, Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, says the federal government is thoroughly investigating the alleged breaches in its national data system. Speaking via his X handle on Wednesday, Tijani said that the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, and the National Data Protection Commission, NDPC, are conducting the probe. The minister's response comes amid a report by Paradigm Initiative that the National Identification Numbers, NINs, bank verification numbers, BVNs, and other personal data of Nigerians who have been sold for as low as 100 naira on authorized websites. NIMC on June 22 denied having partnerships with the website like idfinder.com.ng, verify.ng, championtech.com.ng, trustonline.com, and anyverify.com, and warned Nigerians against patronizing them. However, in a separate interview, Benga Chesson, the executive director of a Paradigm Initiative, said his organization bought Tijani's NIN slip for just 100 naira, and the minister, who neither confirmed nor denied the data, a breach in his exposed promised that the agency are on top of the matter, but emphasized that he has engaged the Minister of Interior, who supervises the National Identity Management Commission, IMNC, and concluded that he is aware that the Interior Ministry and the agency are on top of the matter. Tijani boasted that the Nigerian Data Protection Commission, NDPC, a year-old agency under his supervision as minister, has over the last few months created data compliance mechanism for all MDAs and has since started a thorough investigation as to the circumstances surrounding the alleged breach. Can we say Nigerians are safe when their data is being sold for a paltry sum of 100 naira? That's a rhetorical question, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's have the conversation. And still with me today in the studios to do justice is Cyril Abaku and Lua Taiwo. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being part of our show and hanging on. Now, there's no gainsaying. Bosun Tijani is a sweet talker. Yes, he is. Sometimes he's so loquacious, when it comes to answering questions such as this. But the fact remains that your data, my data, is currently being sold for a paltry sum of 100 naira. That is the truth of the matter. How bad is the situation? Let me start with you, Obe.
The ability to sell data in Nigeria, I'm sure the conversation should have been it's a long overdue conversation. Our data has always been sold, and they are still selling it. It is always something that is unfortunate and not acceptable by an average Nigerian citizen. But beyond that, who is in charge of our data? And how do we protect our data? Look at the conversation about 10, 20 years ago under the President Obasanjo administration. More than 33 billion went under the carpet in the disguise of producing national identity card without the data. They are producing ID card with just numbers that has no data, that has no backup. And after some time, what happened? It was recorded that it was just a manual printing that they were doing for us. There was no backup anywhere. So what happened? The man went away with 33 billion. Even though one way or the other, maybe he was jailed or something happened to him, but must we wait to that level before we prevent conversation around the government procedures? 20 or 10 years after that, we're still having that same conversation, that we're having NIN, we're having BVN that is not safe. I was part of the people that I was at a particular company in Abuja in 2012, 2013, called the company Nigeria Communication Satellite. The company, the agency, under Bosun Tijani.
At that time?
At the time. That agency is in charge of our satellites. and our satellite, maybe VSAT-1, VSAT-2, is being launched in China. So how come our data is being launched in China? You can see that the foundation is already
so the conduit is there.
So the problem is ahead. They've created the problem ahead of time. So all this conversation we're having is like a conversation they have set to 10, 20 years ago. So I was there. I was at NICOMSAT at Lugbe. I saw the whole process. Now with NICOMSAT, we could have gotten a particular, what do you call it, service provider from the government. It can be a PPP arrangement, whereby maybe 50% government, 50% private entity. What does that mean? That means the government can have its own telecom line. All right? So with that, what does that mean? If I'm subscribing to NIN or to BVN, that means my data is saved. But this time around, we are still relying on private telecom service provider. So you can see that we are not even supposed to be having this conversation because the foundation of your data is with a private entity.
So with a
third party. So you can decide to do anything with it at any time. And he will claim that it was an error. He might not have done it officially. One of his boys who is in charge of the back-end operation could have just hacked into the system and do what? And sell the data maybe for 100 naira or for 50 naira. And after some months, the guy will just disappear and he will tell you that he has resigned. He has resigned with about 200 billion naira by selling our data. Can't we have a line, a telecom line operated under government, and every of this registration, don't forget there's no registration without a SIM card, so that all of this registration can be directed to that particular SIM card, and we know that that particular SIM card is safe. And since it is safe, it will be easy for federal government to do what? To harmonize all of this data into one. My friend 3-4 years ago entered Canada. He only needed one number, not all of these 10 numbers. I have about 10 papers of registration that I've done in Nigeria. I have national ID card, I have driver license, I have international passport. I have this. To do what? And truly I'm a citizen. So do I need 10 numbers to be sure that I'm a citizen? We are not ready. We are not ready as a country. Like you said, Bosun, well, you know, it's an IT guy, and it's also fantastically sweet when you talk about responding to questions. Yeah. But his response has not metamorphosed into action, and that is my annoyance with him. It's not about talking.
Exactly.
Look at what Olubunmi is doing in the interior. Now, on the comfort of a bed, you can apply for the passport.
Let's talk more action.
And let's talk. Let's more action. Up to now, nobody's hearing anything from Olubunmi, but his action is speaking. Everybody, we are seeing the evidence. So, please, Bosun, go and copy Olubunmi and do something drastic without responding to all the questions on Twitter. Exactly. They are not putting you as a minister to be a Twitter minister. And if you are not ready to do that going forward, please, you can resign and let's have another minister.
Sure. You know, he talked about the government being in charge of our data. But the truth of the matter is that we often act catch up when it comes to technology. We're always reactive when it comes to technology. How do you think the government can better harness our data when we often act catch up when it comes to technology in this part of the world?
This matter is a serious problem. This thing that has happened back is a major. I am holding myself back from painting a very graphic picture of what this reality is. But let any man who has a daughter who is about 15 or 16 years of age, let's even say 13 years of age, is early puberty, and you hear that somebody took her and sedated her and is running away with her. Just think of it. You know, anything can happen there. And they run into the bush. That's where we are. If I don't entirely agree with the fact that a third party can't manage your data. They can. In America, the CIA has its storage in clouds through Amazon.
Yeah, but Amazon is domiciled in America.
Now I'm coming. Yeah. Yes. The point is, you have a company that has the capacity and the integrity. That's the essential, the primary resource every entity every entity needs. If the integrity is there, so for example, I want to have a deal with you, right? You're a car maker, for example. Country to country, I bring my engineers who can also check what is going on, right? You do the manufacture for me. There's an agreement. Parties have their duties and responsibilities and roles in the process. It's like when you buy a phone, okay, and put and password it. Normally, should be taking that even the company, the phone maker or an app maker doesn't have access to what you're doing on WhatsApp. They talk of encrypted messages, so it's end-to-end encryption. Even the company can't eavesdrop on you. That is how it is supposed to be, right? We move to the night ComSat stuff. If the American government can approach Amazon to store CIA classified documents in cloud, a private company, it means that technology is something that anybody can see and verify. We put in our satellite in what's it called in China in space. For me, it may not so much be the problem. Although I would have preferred that it was hosted in Nigeria. But what are the terms? What did we agree with them? Now coming back home, during the NIN registration saga that government was threatening fire and brimstone on Nigerians. If you don't register, your phone line will block and everything. She will make billion of budget. He came out to say that the machines we are using we are not that if you put your finger on it, then he started putting. You put the finger on it, he said the back end was weak. We all knew these things. I did my NIN registration since 2013 or so. Till today, I don't have a national ID card. So the problem is Nigerian officials and Nigerian government, or anything that do not benefit from through the back door, you won't see them turn their heads in those places. It's corruption. That is why things are as bad as it's now. You had people saying that they bought the minister's name, the director's name for as little as 100 naira. Normal, this is a serious security breach. Policemen, justice officials, the president. Ideally, in America, there would have been congressional hearings now. When Facebook was set to have sold data to Cambridge Analytica, there were congressional sittings. They brought the man to say, Mr. Zuckerberg, what really happened? You understand? Because Congress is the concern of democracy and civil liberties. Somebody man asking questions. In Nigeria, have you seen any uproar in government? No uproar. It is business as usual. This sort of thing is this. So what this information is in the hands of terrorists, foreign governments who are enemies of Nigeria, that can sink us any day. And there's no outcry. The minister came to speak weeks after that they will investigate what's going on, or they're investigating. As far as I'm concerned, let me say this: Nigeria is weak and has been weakened. Institutions, departments of government, agencies, they've been weakened to a point where they are only able to move at the pace of a snail. So everything that a snail can accomplish is what they two can accomplish. Otherwise, let me say this: when a crime is committed on the road, they don't need somebody to report. Let me just tell you a little. In Ondo State, a student was killed also. Then they called the police spokesperson to say, can you confirm? The woman said that the matter has not been reported. I think they called from Abuja and wondered. She now said, no, the police is investigating. Police people are waiting for people to report crime that they are trained and are being paid to go and So when you see this kind of data leak, my brother, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. It is how we are. And it's not just those new numbers. I told someone one time, I said, all this in Nigeria can't surprise me, really. Can't surprise me. Are you aware that Boston Tijani only became minister a few months ago? It's not up to 1 year. Who was minister before him? And under whose purview did this name stuff take place? A minister that was alleged or accused of having ties to Al-Qaeda and was not denied. Confirmed. So for us to be seeing it now, don't you think that other people have also seen it before? It means they can listen in on our conversations, they can hear our phone calls. Henry, let's be careful though. Could it be that when DSS people, soldiers, police are planning an operation, some people somewhere are able to listen in? Which was why a friend in England called me one time. He said, let's talk, but don't let us use even WhatsApp. He said we should use, he gave me another what's it called, another app that I should download for us to make a voice call over the internet. It wasn't even as well because anything serious, right? But he said for the safety of the call, for the integrity of the call, let's use. So this is where we are. How did the people who is dropped and manipulated the phone call between P2B and David Oyedepo get access to the phone call? Now we are seeing things. I don't know if you're putting two and two together. Yeah. Now we are seeing things. So I have my Nigeria has my prayers.
Yes. So while we pray for Nigeria, we won't of course deny the fact that in my view, this is a personal however, we tend to act like ostriches. We hide our heads in the sand while the whole of the body is exposed to everybody. The minister, Bosu Tijani, has just inaugurated another agency, Nigerian Data Protection Commission. His predecessor, Pantami, equally did lots of that. And unfortunately, the same Pantami was one of those who crowdfunded for the release of a family's friend, that was, kidnapped, because of course he's NIN and also wasn't even effective to getting the culprits together. Now, why do you think Bosu Tijani would not really be as successful as we all tend he would be, knowing that his ministry is a very sensitive one?
It's only in Nigeria that a minister will come up and the first thing we hear is Thanksgiving and congratulation here and there. But this time around, I'm not sure I want to congratulate Bosu anymore. I only want to commiserate with him for things that may happen or is about to happen in his ministry going forward. So for him also to understand that in as much as we in Lagos or in Borno State are not safe, he also, including Mr. President, they are also not safe. That's what it means. Because if you can be having a conversation at the State House and your line is blocked already, and so you can rest assured that anybody can bomb the Aso Rock with or without any gun. That's what it means. So that's what it means. That means that even the Aso Rock is not safe.
It's not safe.
So if Aso Rock is not safe, so even the aircraft that they want to buy for about billions of dollars, that means that aircraft too is not safe. So you can see that we are living the major, and we are majoring minor and minor in major. That's what we are doing to our economy. That's what we are doing, because the National Data Protection Council or Commission is a global village. It's a global village.
What do they now do?
In fact, it's even a global regulatory imposition. If not, I trust Nigeria, they wouldn't have done it. It's because it's a global soft from the ITU and the rest. Okay. So it's a global regulatory
so this is like an outlet for Nigeria.
It's like it's a necessary leg for Nigeria. So that's why even less than a year, we've not really seen much as what they are doing. The only thing they are doing for now is just
sensitization.
You can see when you are starting a critical agency as such, that is supposed to be communicating, working in pari passu with other global agency, and the only thing you are doing is just advocacy. So are you saying that for the first 1 year, the only thing you're doing is advocacy? Where are your research? Are you not doing research? Where are your networking with other global bodies? Where are the treaties they are supposed to sign? Are you ready to sign all those things? Do you even understand what it means to have the data? Do you understand the meaning of cyber security? Do you even understand the meaning of data protection? Do you understand the meaning of data management? Do you even understand the meaning of data storage? There's one between data storage, data management, and data security. You can see this the chain of command within that industry, which is not known. So the only thing we are hearing is just advocacy and sensitization. And maybe it will not lead to what happened to a particular ministry. Whether they said that someone just cried out recently that out of the billions that was appropriated for that particular ministry, more than 70% has gone into advocacy and meetings and committee, and that's the end of the ministry.
I wanted to ask, sorry, because I really wanted to cut in to ask. My apologies. At the time, if at all there was, somebody was trying to access the data to obtain to begin to sell, no alarm went off somewhere. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, very well.
At the time someone was trying to access the data, no alarm went off somewhere.
Or it was offline. Maybe.
Honestly, who knows?
It was offline when it was done. So it's not possible to.
This kind of things can sink governments.
Yes.
This is a serious national security breach. It's a serious. I mean, it's like we've been overthrown as people.
This is a military coup coming already.
No, it's a coup against the
It's a coup against the people.
Of course, we've been blown away.
Now, while we admit that this is a coup against the people and the Nigerian state, there's no denying the fact that when it comes to technology and tech in its entirety, Nigerians have got the best dexterity when it comes to that. Tech hubs are springing up all over the place, especially in Lagos and other parts of the country. Why is it difficult for us to harness those great minds and use them better for this some of the functions that we have?
We have not properly evaluated ourselves to know why we even need science. When we were talking about why we need education, I spoke about this some days ago. Now, left to me, I used to say that education will be free for everybody, and I still stand by it. But even the Ministry of Education, I will call it Ministry of Education and Scientification. The world has gone far away from where Nigerians are. It has gone very far away. Data protection, right, or data, economic data, is part of the is part of the things that make a country unique to itself. Those are things that you can never touch. You should never touch. But when you have government that is not purposeful and does not have the definition of why you should be doing whatever you should be doing, anything can happen. It is because we place no value on it. People are here crying. It's like in football also. Look at how Nigerians are playing football in Europe, so many of them. Do you think that if we had good management, our local league won't be competing with the European leagues? It can. Because in the past it did. But corruption and mismanagement brought us where we are. These tech hubs that forced Mark Zuckerberg to even come to
Nigeria.
And who else came to Nigeria? I had to go and visit them. Someone else,
a Twitter guy, the former Twitter boy.
I think Bill Gates also came.
Yes.
Right? And all of them, they are awed by. The reality is that if with a little government push, there is a lot we can do. Look at what we've done without government, even with the do you know that the fintechs, we can even learn from the fintechs and store data there and we'll be safe.
Yeah.
But they will not do it. They will not. So that's where I'm going, that it is because we've not defined what we need science for. The day we define it, I can assure you this is not difficult. Look, there's a lot we can achieve in a month. In a month.
All right, what do you think? Yes, all right.
People are talking about pastors who are making money that fly private jet. I recently heard about one prophet that, he died like 11 years ago in Akure. That there was a time he organized a crusade for 3 months on the bounce. Every day was preaching 3 straight months. How many hours does the president work? How many hours do the ministers work? Dangote accused the IOCs of sabotaging his refinery on Friday or Saturday. They couldn't respond until on Tuesday to accuse him back on Tuesday. That's when they respond. Is that how global is that how serious governments work?
So if you were consulting for Bosun Tijani, especially with regards to the tech gurus that we have in Nigeria and not being able to use them to achieve some of these things, what would be your best advice to him in 60 seconds?
2 things are involved. Number one, I've said this at the beginning of this administration. Get 50 youths or 100 youths out of this state immediately for the next 3 months. Let them go and study how this thing works. When they come back, let them form a team with you sitting down with them. Because you understand the language. You're in that industry. Yeah. You're an IT expert. But the latest you don't understand because you are now in politics. So release 100 guys out to Japan, out into America. Divide them out into Israel.
India.
After 6 months, India. Let them come back. When they come back, they'll tell you what is obtainable. Then they will tell you the solution. Without that, you can't do it alone. With all this white paper and red paper, we don't need white paper for our fintech. Believe in me, for this government should listen to what I'm about to say now. Critically, 4 points are needed if they are ready. Number 1, fintech. Serious investment, fintech. Number 2, AI. Number 3, agriculture. Number 4, health. I'm not even going there. I'm not mentioning education, right? And I'm not mentioning security. Do you know why? Fintech and AI will take care of security and education. Like he said, if we have quality investment into fintech, our educational system will be totally overhauled. Whether we stop having certification like we are having, instead of what? Real-time 21st century education.
Very well said. 24th century education. There's no doubt, ladies and gentlemen, that when other countries are thinking nanotechnology, supersonic technology, we are still battling the issue of our data, getting lost with a third party. That's so very unfortunate, and we hope that the government and those in authority will do the needful to stop and avert this from happening in the future. Thank you, Cyril Abaku, for being part of our show. Obe, thank you so very much, as always, for always making our time when we call on you to be part of our show.
Nigeria is my country. I will always be here.
Well, thank you so very much.
She has my prayers all the time.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's just about the time we have for our show today, Friday. We'd love to say thank you to you once more for being part of it. But please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetv.com. Like, comment respectfully, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwike. I'll see you for yet another great time. Bye-bye for me.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.